There's a moment in BoJack Horseman that sticks not because it's loud or dramatic, but because it's quiet, almost whispered. I feel like I was born with a leak, and any goodness I started with just slowly spilled out of me, and now it's all gone. That's the show in one sentence. That's BoJack. A character who hides behind sarcasm, parties, fame, and an animated face, but whose internal world is darker than most dramas dare to explore. BoJack Horseman is a show about depression, not in the clinical or medicalized sense, but in the soul-crushing, existential, I can't escape myself kind of way. It's depression with a punchline, a smile, a washed-up sitcom star in a horse's body, walking around with unresolved childhood trauma and just enough charm to keep people around until he destroys them too. At its core, BoJack Horseman doesn't try to solve depression, it mirrors it. And in doing so, it becomes one of the most honest portrayals of mental illness that's ever made it to screen. BoJack is what many people would call high-functioning. He's rich, he's famous, he has a career most people would kill for. But he's hollow. He drinks too much, says the wrong things, hurts people he cares about, and hates himself more with every step. And yet he keeps going. Keeps performing. Keeps putting on the show. That's the thing about depression, it doesn't always look like crying on the bathroom floor. Sometimes it's someone smiling at a party, making jokes, posting selfies, signing autographs, laughing in interviews, and then going home to drink alone in silence. BoJack embodies this contradiction. His humor is disarming, but behind it is a kind of internal rot. He smiles because it's easier than explaining what he's feeling. He jokes because honesty would mean confronting himself, and BoJack doesn't know who he is without the mask. Or worse, he does know, and he hates that person. BoJack's depression doesn't come from nowhere. His childhood was a cold, cruel place. His mother, Beatrice, was emotionally abusive and deeply bitter, having been scarred by her own upbringing. His father was distant and critical, a man more interested in legacy than love. This is something BoJack Horseman does so well, it shows that pain gets passed down. Not just genetically, but emotionally. You don't escape your past, you carry it into every relationship, every job, every moment of silence where the voices in your head get a little louder. BoJack was a child who never felt good enough. And now he's an adult who sabotages anything good that comes his way because somewhere deep inside, he still believes he doesn't deserve happiness. It's a brutal cycle. The more he ruins, the more he hates himself, and the more he hates himself, the more he ruins. Throughout the series, BoJack clings to the people around him: Diane, Todd, Princess Carolyn, Mr. Peanut Butter, not out of love, but out of desperation. They are his proof that he's not completely alone. They are the mirrors he looks into to gauge his humanity. But the show never lets us forget that relationships with someone who's deeply unwell can be exhausting. BoJack doesn't just suffer, he makes others suffer too. He's manipulative, selfish, emotionally unpredictable. He drains people. And when they pull away to protect themselves, he interprets it as abandonment, which only fuels his self-hatred. Diane, in particular, is a tragic parallel. She wants to help him, but she's falling apart too. And that's something the show explores beautifully, how two broken people can't always heal each other. Sometimes they just drown together, silently. The brilliance of BoJack Horseman is that it's actually hilarious. Genuinely. It's one of the smartest comedies of the last decade, and its absurdity, talking animals, surreal Hollywood satire, fish-out-of-water gags often tricks you into thinking you're just watching a funny cartoon. And then it hits you with something gut-wrenching. A monologue about self-loathing. A visual metaphor for drowning. An episode where BoJack is completely silent, trapped with his own thoughts. It doesn't just target your heart, it yanks it out when you least expect it. This dissonance is depression. You can laugh at dinner and cry in the shower. You can write tweets and think about death in the same hour. You can have a public face and a private abyss. BoJack's humor is his armor, but it's paper thin. And the show never lets us forget that. One of the most painful truths the show delivers is this: some people do not get better quickly and some never do. Healing isn't linear. Redemption isn't guaranteed. And apologies don't fix everything. BoJack keeps messing up. He betrays friends. He makes terrible decisions. He doesn't always learn. And the show doesn't sugarcoat it. It lets him fall. And fall again. Because that's what real depression can look like, not a single breakdown, but a slow erosion of self, over years, over decades. But it also shows flickers of something else, effort. Maybe not hope, but effort. Tiny moments where BoJack tries. Where he shows up. Where he stops drinking. Where he says no to the thing he would have said yes to a season ago. It's not enough to redeem him, and that's important. The show resists the Hollywood ending. But it is enough to humanize him. To remind us that pain doesn't make you evil, but it does make you dangerous, especially when you refuse to face it. BoJack Horseman isn't about depression as a plot device. It's about depression as a lens, as a way of moving through the world. And it's about the way that lens can distort everything: relationships, careers, moments of joy, even your sense of self. BoJack wears a smile because it's easier than screaming. He drinks because he can't sit still with himself. He clings to the past because he doesn't believe in a future. And maybe that's what makes the show so powerful. It doesn't give us answers. It just gives us truth. In the final season, there's a question that lingers: is it too late for BoJack? And the show doesn't answer it. Not really. Because that's not the point. The point is the attempt, the reaching, the trying, the small acts of change. Because in the end, depression doesn't always look like crying. Sometimes it looks like smiling through clenched teeth. Sometimes it looks like a horse in a pool, wondering how he got there. Sometimes it looks like us. And maybe that's why BoJack Horseman hurts so good, because deep down, we all know what it means to wear a mask.